A lot of people struggle with the notion of being successful. And if we look at the definition of successful, success simply means having achieved something, having put in a certain amount of work, and achieving a certain result. That's the most basic definition of success. But many of us, we struggle with the notion of success because we think that we are not successful. We think that we need to have a certain type of success to define ourselves as successful. But here is the truth. We are all successful. We've all been very successful. We are all very highly successful. We are all highly effective. But many people think that we need to go and acquire some certain sort of type of skill, special skill to be successful. No, it's not about acquiring a certain skill because we are all successful in everything that we are doing. The only difference is, what are you successful at? That's the thing. The truth is, what are we successful at? One of the things that I've really come to draw a lot of inspiration from is the story of the Israelites when they were coming out of Egypt. You see, the Israelites were very, very successful, but they were successful at being slaves. That was their success. They had practiced and they had known all the skills. They had acquired all the skills of how to become slaves. And that is the thing that a lot of us face. We are successful at being whatever it is that we are being right now. We are successful at, for example, being poor. We are successful maybe in being gossips. We are successful in being lazy. We have put in the work. We have acquired the skill of how to be the thing that we are doing right now. So the notion of success is something that you can chase all your life thinking that you're not successful, that you don't have the skills to become successful. But the truth is, you're already successful. You're already a very highly successful person in whatever it is that you're being right now. So now, how do you flip it? How do you now become intentional about the success, the kind of success that you want? Become the successful person who actually produces different results. Because don't get me wrong, it's not about the skills that you need to acquire. It has nothing to do with skills. We've all got the skills locked down very, very well. Because, well, as we said, the definition of success is achieving a certain result after having applied a couple of steps to achieve that result. So in that, all of us are successful. We are successful gossipers. We are successful we are successful at being poor or having a poor mind mentality. We are successful at being lazy. We are successful at all those things. The difference between the people that we see and we marvel and we say, oh, I want to be so successful at this and this. I want to be like so and so. No, that person, the difference is, and this is the number one thing that I was talking about, is that you have to become aware of what you are successful at. So number one, become aware of what you're successful at. What are you successful at right now? Look at your life. What are you producing? What are the results? What is the fruit of the thing that you have been born into or that you have been practicing all your life? To go back to the story of the children of Israel, look at how the Israelites were taken out of Egypt. They were taken out of bondage. But the Israelites could not even practice being anything other than slaves. They were given everything. I mean, these guys had Moses guiding them, God giving them manna from heaven. Everything was being fed to them. They were used to being slaves. They were successful at being slaves. And when they were taken out of slavery, they were never given any other tool set to help them to become anything else. So when they saw any challenges, because they had not become successful in anything else, they applied the only skills that they knew. And the skills that they knew was complaining. The Israelites knew how to complain because they were crying to God day and night. They are crying to God. That was their success. Their success was, one, they were very successful slaves. Number two, they were very successful complainers. Number three, they were very successful at disowning any leadership. If the leadership wasn't doing what they wanted to do, they would just turn around and just be like, it's not working for us. We need something else. So the story of the Israelites really taught me something about how all of us, we are successful at something. The only thing is that we usually think that we don't have the skill set. Therefore, we struggle to even try and change the trajectory of our lives. We struggle to change the situation. So how do we change this? How do you actually come to it and say that I've got the skill set? The problem is not your skill set. You've got the skill set already. So what you need to do is actually look at, number one, become aware of what you're successful at. So once you're aware of what am I successful at right now, what is happening in my life right now, what results am I producing right now, then look at how you came about. What is the process that took you through for you to be so successful at being a gossiper? For you to be so successful at being a person who is always complaining about the economy? For you to be so successful at being the person who is the worst critic of all relationships? You've got to look at the steps. Walk yourself back. Become aware of that process. What really harnessed, your skills so that you can become the best at what you're being right now? Now, know that those skills now can be replicated. They can be reversed so that they can be used into becoming the kind of success that you want. So number one, become aware of what you are right now, what you're successful in right now. Don't stress about it. Don't try and overthink that I'm not. No, we are all successful. We are all making it. We are all highly effective. Otherwise, you won't be seeing the results. So that is number one, that a lot of people are missing in this space of even self-help or even coaching, is trying to tell someone that you're not successful. You are successful just the way you are, but you're just being successful at the wrong thing. You've got the skill set to turn this around. You've got the skill set to become anything you want to become, because you've already shown that you have great success. You've got amazing results at being whatever it is that you've been practicing all your life. To go back to the children of Israel and their story, look at how they came out of Egypt and they were drawn out of Egypt, but it took them 40 years. 40 years to walk around in the wilderness. And in these 40 years, they were seeing everything. But it took them a long time because they had to unlearn how to become slaves, how to be successful as slaves, and to become successful at actually being leaders, at being people now who are considered as children of God, because they stuck in a very long time being children and not maturing into the people who now can lead, the people who now can become entrepreneurs, the people who can become teachers, the people who can become so on and so forth. And this is the struggle that most of us have. So number one, become aware. Number two, once you become aware, now you've got to define the thing that you actually are trying to accomplish. What is it now that you want to become? What is it that you are feeling that, oh, this for me is my ideal situation of success? Because you've been successful, but now you have to define, okay, so what is this other role? What is this other thing that to me feels and looks like, a beautiful life? Let me not say successful, because we are all successful. So you want to say, what is this other thing that I want to be successful in? So once you have defined that, you define, what do I want to be successful in? Once you go out there, you now start looking around and saying, what makes me excited? What makes me so comfortable? Like when I'm doing this thing, I just feel like I'm in my space. I'm in my mental space. Because get this, all of us, we have something inside us that God gave us, a seed that God gave us inside us that is just waiting to bloom. We've just been feeding the wrong seeds. We've been feeding the wrong things. And also we've been successful through feeding the wrong things inside us. And through consuming different things like the media we consume, the content we consume, the company that we keep, the conversations that we have, these have kept us feeding the wrong thing. Now you want to turn it around and say, all right, so now I want to become an entrepreneur, or I want to become like, a motivational speaker. I don't know, whatever you want to become. I want to create a blog and go blogging about traveling. I want to become more disciplined. I want to become like the best mom that is there out there. So you define that thing and then you tell yourself, all right, what steps did I take before that made me highly successful in whatever it is that I was being highly successful in? And now how can I apply them into this new thing that I'm defining for myself? So look at those steps and tell yourself, what does it take? Number one, it takes a lot of practice, because from all your life, you've been practicing. Maybe a lot of us, some of the things that helped us to become successful gossipers, successful losers, successful, whatever it is you're successful in. Some of them maybe were passed down from our families, from the programming that we got, from all the things that your parents told you, your environment told you, your school programmed you to think about yourself. Those have contributed. But if you look at it, what is it that constantly helped you to reinforce that thought or that successful situation that you had in your life. If you look at it, it has been the repetition, the practicing. You've got to know that you have to practice whatever values or whatever the values and the behaviors that make you that thing. So once you define, you say, I want to become an entrepreneur. Now I'm done being a gossip. I want to become an entrepreneur. So how do I become an entrepreneur? And then you go back again and you say, what type of entrepreneur am I wanting to be? What kind of content creator do I want to be? What kind of fashion blogger do I want to be? What kind of maybe mom do I want to be? What kind of politician do I want to be? Whatever it is now you want to be successful in. Look at it and get 10 characteristic traits, 10 character traits that are needed for this particular new avatar that you want to be successful in, the new enterprise that you want to be successful in. And the way to do this, the best way to do this is to go out there and look for 10 different people who have actually been successful in this thing, who, they're flourishing. When you look at them, you've just been saying, I want to be like that person. I want to do what they're doing. I want to create content like that person. I want to up my business. I want to up my career. I want to, a lot of people watch this creator, Nora Smith, the lady who is always making her cheese and everything from scratch. So if that is what you're aspiring to do, look at it and say, what does she do? What is she practicing day by day? Is she putting out content? How is she making all this delicious food? How is she making it from scratch? What is her daily routine? What is that life entail? Now you too, you go out there, you take those steps and you start practicing them. You practice them and you practice them. And every day you show up and you do those 10 actions diligently, because the secret with us human beings is that we are a see, do, and then become. So when you see, whatever it is you see, if you're seeing the wrong thing, you're going to be doing that wrong thing, being successful in that wrong thing, and then you get the results of that thing that is wrong. Then you think, I'm not successful. I'm just doomed. No, baby girl, babe, whoever you are, you've been doing amazing. You're successful. You've got the skill set. So now once you have defined that, you have gotten 10 people who are doing that thing and are successful in that thing. You turn around and you practice those 10 traits faithfully. And this is where committing to that thing, because the beautiful thing about number one, when you become aware, is that now you realize, oh my goodness, I'm good at this. I can absolutely do it. I don't have to go and read 1,000 books. I don't have to watch 1,000 webinars. I don't have to go and, listen to 1,000 gurus and mentors. I've absolutely been crushing this. There's nothing wrong with me. There's just, the only thing is where my focus has been. So now you're aware, you shift your focus and you say, now I'm creating this new avatar. I'm creating this new scenario where I want to be successful. And these are the steps that to make me so successful in this thing that has not been pleasant in my life. Now I'm pivoting and I'm creating this other thing that I want in my life. But it takes practice. So number one, become aware. Number two, now define the thing that you actually want to see happening in your life, the thing that you actually want to be becoming. Once you do that, you have those 10 steps and these 10 people. Let me tell you, practice it religiously. Whether it's raining, whether it's shining, whether you don't feel like it, whether it's what, because you're creating something. Remember, even when you didn't feel like being a loser, the thoughts of being a loser came to you and you practiced them. Sometimes you are even resisting them. You are reading self-help books, but somehow the thoughts still came to you. So the same way, practice and repeat thoughts and behaviors about the thing that you are now creating so that it becomes second nature to you. Switch totally. Cut off the things that have been feeding you all this loser mentality, all this poverty mindset, all this I'm not worthy mindset. Cut them off. If you've been watching too much of a particular channel, cut it off. Just switch it off. You've got the power. Just turn it off. It's that easy. I kid you not, it's that easy. People complicate this thing, but it's that easy. Turn it off. If you have been hanging around friends who, when you sit down, the conversation is all about how you all are losers, how life is hard, how everything is unfair, cut them off. In fact, I put it another way around. Cut yourself off from that. Because sometimes cutting them off seems hard. But when you say, I'm going to cut myself off, you've taken responsibility for yourself. So cut yourself off from those situations that have been bringing you these results where you've been highly successful. And then plug yourself into situations, conversations, friendships, which are bringing you the results that now are the thing that you want to see in your life. It's that simple. Let's not overcomplicate this issue. We complicate it. We want to read so many webinars, so many self-help groups. It's just that simple. Become aware, create the new avatar, or create the new thought or ideology of the thing that you want to see in your life. Then number 3, cut off all those things that have been feeding the old and plug into the now new things, situations that will feed the new. It's that simple. It's that simple, guys. Then now, practice over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. And this is how you get to see different results. Don't be lied to that you don't have the power, because this is the thing that keeps a lot of us stagnated. This is the thing that keeps a lot of us not moving forward. We think that we have to go out there and look for something else to make us improve ourselves. No, you just have to shift your focus on what has not been working, create the thought and ideology of what you want to work for you, and then get the characteristic traits of what this thing means. How do I work it? What are the steps? And practice those steps religiously. Cut yourself off from all those other things that have been creating stagnation. Plug yourself into the thing that is going to create for you that thing that you have written down, that you have envisioned. So it's that simple, guys. I hope this helps somebody out there, because a lot of us are struggling with this issue. If this has blessed you, be sure to continue watching, because for me, this channel is about really giving out the truth and real situation, not all these made up steps that people want to create and make you feel as if you don't have it inside you. As I said, God has given all of us a seed. God has given us, all of us, the capability. The only thing is that when you feed the wrong thing inside you, it grows. It becomes, that is basically what manifestation is. Manifestation is you're feeding this, it appears. If you stop feeding it, it doesn't appear. So now you define the thing that you want, feed it, it will appear. It's that simple. Don't get it complicated. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this, please remember to subscribe and to follow, and also leave your comments with any thoughts you have on this video. Let me know what has been working for you in your life, and let's continue engaging and talking. And watch out for my next video, where I'm going to be talking about how to create wealth using principles from the Bible that work, simple and clear. No need for all this other noise and nonsense that keeps you crazy. Simple steps of how to create wealth with what you have right now, without going to seek so many things outside of yourself. Just create wealth. And we are going to be defining what wealth is, and what wealth is, where does it come from, and very simple steps that you can take to actually see yourself moving up the ladder without having to feel that you're less than. If this has blessed you, share it with somebody else. Subscribe, like, and share, and let's continue growing together. Bye-bye.